Hi friends! This is DaintyTank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Heaven Will Be Mine. This is part 10 in our series. Poke Totoro the Upright Card area. See the rest of what we've done. We are on part 2 of Pluto's route. And it's fun. Pluto is so interesting! We're gonna click through some of what we've seen before. We're gonna load up first, click through all of these Saturns. Look at me. Go to Pluto. See what happens here. So, we've already done the comms here. Click, 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 click. It's so cute and flirty. I like Mars so much. If you haven't seen these, check out the last time where I struggle bust to get through them. With that, let's get straight into retrograde and retrograde. Retrograde and retrograde. Launch. Mars, are you okay? You look like someone punched you in the face. What happened? Did someone punch you in the face, Mars? I mean... I don't mean to laugh, but I mean to laugh. Someone punched me in the face. It's been so long since you got in a fight with the flight crew. Feels a little nostalgic. I'm fine, by the way. People who start fights don't get sympathy. They started it when they wouldn't let me fly. And who threw the first punch? That part doesn't matter. It does, Mars! Mars is gonna beat you for it. If they don't let me go, then you'll have to fight that traitor all by yours. Shit. Oh? Why didn't I feel it earlier? Of course she's here. It wasn't that I wasn't going to tell you. Memorial Foundation also knows about the prototype, and they sent their ace to get it. No, I understand. You were so excited you just had to run out and see her, huh? You got that right! Run out and punch that traitor Luna-Terra in the face as hard as I can! Traitor? Who? Aww. She's the worst after pretending that she was going to fight for the colonies. Even after Earth abandoned us and demanded we come home, she double-crossed us. We were going to do this together. I love Mars. I have missed punching that insufferably smug face for a year. It's finally time to show her that we're not going to forgive her for betraying us at the worst moment, leaving us alone, barely able to keep fighting as Cradle's graces. But it's not like we ever needed her, and I know I miss her too. So there was a much deeper connection between Luna-Terra and Pluto than I ever understood. Are you not listening to me? I've been listening to the two of you say the same thing about each other for a really long time, and it doesn't sound any different. It is nothing like it was before. I'm not playing games. When we were in the academy, you were always chasing after her. You'd swing the first punch and she'd laugh. And you two would fight, and then you'd make out, and then you'd do it all over again. I miss that so much. But if you go after her, It'll happen just like that all over again. Stop talking about me like I'm that predictable. It's different now. Orders are orders for a reason, you know. I'm still not okay with it. They're making you use that terrifying machine. It's way too dangerous. I'm sorry. I really am. But Mars, if it makes you feel any better. What? You're breaking up? I can't wait to fight her. I love her, understand her, and forgive her. But I'm still mad. How come you both got to have all the fun? Who wants to stay home while you two get to fight and make out? You don't know how scary this machine is, Mars. And it's so much less scary than me. And I don't want you to see me like that. But I really, really want Luna-Terra to see. Pluto, you cut out there for a second there. What did you say? I said tough luck. It's my chance to shine now. Like waking up underwater to the wet burn of your lungs, desperation for air. Like floating untethered in space, unable to move under your own power. Losing the security of gravity is like being naked in space. Gravity is a necessity for human life in space. Gravity is a necessity for unrestricted movement in space. Can't have one without the other. The force that binds your existence together. The force to shape foreign bodies, pure agency. Gravity is a necessity, not just to live in space, but to be human in space. But being human is a little harder for Pluto. So she has to work for it. The tidal forces of her spacefaring body, the Krun Makola, are as strong as she believes and as weak as she feels. And Luna-Terra needs to make sure all the calculations are in order. Everything in her ship operates manually. She's just been at it long enough that it feels like a second skin. The jolt of nostalgia interrupts Luna-Terra's mental math. She forgets to carry the one. It interrupts Pluto's focus, and she has the moment where she's not invincible. Close enough to touch the surface of the moon lab, Luna-Terra is seen and known by Pluto. They are suddenly falling down the well of too late, and nothing you can do. I knew it. Warning, gravitational interference. It's important to get a grip. Knowing that there's nothing you can do is something Pluto considers freeing, and Luna-Terra considers exciting. Feeling doomed is clear permission to do whatever. As soon as Mare Crisium is through the cloud barrier, she fires solid light into the remains of the Celestial Mechanics lab and chases it through the wound. The lab was recently destroyed by the illegal launch of the hijacked ship, but the damage is barely noticeable compared to the massive hole left by the much, much larger ship crashing through. Luna-Terra acts fast under pressure. If there's no point in hiding, there's no point in stopping. It's true, Luna-Terra is living on the whim of Krun Makola, which can probably do whatever to her at any time. She can't run away. She wants to make the first move. The sort of thing that makes a lot of sense if you think about it, and no sense at all if you think a little more. But that's Luna-Terra, isn't it? She's betting she'll think too much. She's betting you'll think too much, or not enough. Against Pluto, is that really such a good idea? She's someone who always thinks just enough. Which makes it easy for Luna-Terra to slip through, deep into the lab, until it gets quiet, except for the sounds of the moon, quaking and trembling. After almost a year, the dread and the thrill is way too much to slow down and start talking. That's what the arrow flying into the Pluto's gravity well is saying. Who would make the first move? When Luna-Terra punctuates the last armor layer and opens up the terminal cavern, light spills out and screaming sound because the Cormacula is peeling the lab and most of the moon inside out with the forces of its tides. Turning on the fan. I hate how much I'm having to use the fan. Oh well. It's not something that's impossible or anything. It's just something that's only possible in theory, which is still terrifying. More terrifying. And more terrifying than that power is Pluto's finesse. And more terrifying than that finesse is her gentleness, spooling matter like threads in the tiny galaxy of which she is the sun. Her power is very kind, and it's also a little perverse. What meaning does mercy have from something that can core out a moon? Cormacula's developers compared it to a black hole. They wanted a machine so powerful and absolute even light couldn't escape it. Luna-Terra understands now that was wrong. She's a star, gushing and twinkling with matter and light. Who wouldn't be swept up in that? The Mercurium is so small. Pluto has never seen it from a perspective like Cormacula's before. She never imagined it would look so fragile from here, like a toy version of a fierce fighter she imagined. Pluto's sense of scale is true. Luna-Terra feels like just a little plastic toy too. Come on, say something. It's making me sad. It really does suit you. So much more than I ever thought. Is it hard to look away? Being able to render you speechless is the power I've always dreamed of. What do you think? I know just a look won't change your mind, but I want you to tell me. Tell you what? That I regret betraying you? I told you then that I always would. No. I won't let you do that, Luna-T. Did you think I'd be mad? I mean, of course I'm mad at you, but not for anything you did to me. I wouldn't ever be mad at you for not having enough faith in me to see through Cradle Grace's dreams of a new home for humans in space. I'm just mad at you for not having enough faith in yourself to see it through. And leaving all the work to me. Oops. I guess that is why I'm a little upset with you. Not mad, you know. Just disappointed. I can't believe I'm still the one scolding you like a kid. I'm trying to be the grown-up, you know. I did the responsible thing. I took the realistic option. I'm here to play the part of the boring adult and grown-up villain. It's okay. Oh, that's right. I remembered why I actually am mad at you. You better not go down quietly. You better really believe what you just said. I'll forgive you if you left us for something stupid, but I'll never forgive you if you left us for something you don't believe in. And you better not believe in it, because I also won't forgive you for fighting for a future that cruel. That doesn't leave me a lot of options. I don't think I can fight against that. Don't you dare. I won't forgive that either. Were you hoping maybe that it wouldn't be like this? That I wouldn't have to fight? It'll change you in ways you don't understand. I've seen you fight so many times. I saw when you got that scar and your poor ship got her wound. Oh, that's something I didn't know. Has anyone else seen that side of you as much as me? I don't think so. Not even Europa. Ha! Someone new! But it's different when you're on the other side. You think I don't know you because I've never stared down the barrel of your rifle or felt the knife nick my ship? It's a different kind of knowing. Teach me then, or I'll teach you. Ho 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 ho! Luna-Terra gets schooled, or Pluto learns a lesson. Nope, Luna-Terra gets schooled. I want Krunmacola to crush. As soon as Pluto blinks, there's a moment. Mayor Chrysium attacks. A little out of fear, mostly out of awe. It's a confused moment. Move, the first move, which is so unlike her. So unlike her that nearly takes Krunmacola by surprise. All matter parts along the vectors of inertia that Pluto has set. But those bullets stubbornly curve, bury into her flank and sting with a sharp, subtle gravity of their own. Ow. That kind of stings, Luna-T. Stop doing things like that. Wipe. Wipe. Luna-T is crushed instantly and she's dead. No. Luna-Terra dodged at the last second. No. The Mercrosium is torn apart from every joint. No. Luna-Terra is safe at home. She never left. No. Luna-Terra has moved, and it's only because she can't bring herself to. Luna-Terra is feeling ghosts of the space-times that Pluto has cut off. Escape routes she rushed for, but don't exist. Luna-Terra is trying to think of something to say. She really is. But it's impossible, because Krunmacola is the size of the universe. Her seeping nebula glows with the promise to swallow up the space station and Luna-Terra and the whole solar system. Oh my god. Whoa, that's terrifying. I love this ship self. It's so fascinating if you think about this, just general physics of it. Oh my god, it's literally just like, I am a nebula, I am a star. I create stars. I am the birthplace of where stars are. I am the gravitational well. By my gravity alone, I change the universe. Fascinating. Anyways, sorry. That's not the way, Luna-T. You have to come for me like you really mean it, or that's what's going to happen. Oh god. It's just terrifying for Luna-Terra. She just saw herself die and not attack ever and have stayed home, ignoring the mission. Like every possibility in between. The Mercrosium's engines spin to no response. Luna-Terra's mind is racing, but there's no thought she can hold on to. Except how disappointed and sad Pluto is. If you give me just one moment, you'll pass my event horizon, and you'll never escape. Always getting closer, but never getting there. Falling forever. If you don't figure out how to unstick yourself, I might leave you there. Remember for next time, okay? Don't keep breaking my heart. The Mercrosium plummets, and the Krunmacola rises, exiting the moon like a shooting star, tearing the lab up into space with her. Just crunch, and she just blows apart this lab. Oh my goodness. I love all of these visuals, and it's so fun to put it together in my mind. And I think it's a little unfair probably, because I think and very 3D. So, like, I put together all of the different pieces and just completely see the battle in every single aspect. And it's so fun. And I don't always explain it as much as I probably should. So apologies on that. Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. No, there was never a planet, Mars. That's a name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter Aries. But like the stringy, inedible weeds that grow when nothing else does, Kratos Graces is dug in, and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked, the terraforming engines are broken, the gravity furnaces are out of control, there's no resources left on this planet. No strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist. It's an inert rock. There's no point in fighting, there's no need to fight. Ship elves can't keep you alive alone forever, and even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NSES fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left, and why we can't get them out. What? Why don't we go home too, and leave all those idiots to just fucking die on a rock? Why do you think we're doing this for? External communication sent on August 31st. 1978 by Memorial Foundation troops. 2 years before that, like, ultimatum. Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirements for human life. And life is just the start anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made by tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions about humans are made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true, even about what's human and what's not. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on the earth is in fact not a human. That's a pretty unusual thing for humans to do. No differences of any kind need to exist. We'll just be aliens, and then they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up the gravity well, and then we get to decide. Kratos Graces Irregulars, January 25th, 1981. Woohoo! It's morning on Aries, but what's time in space? If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out of the canyons of Mars, where Kratos Graces and Memorial Foundation are bickering. Hold the city ruins against invading troops, and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me, I can wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space I've ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's lunar gravity well shines. No one controls it before the deadline is up. Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. We'll finally have something alien in space. Private communication on January 26th, 1981, by celestial mechanics researcher, probably Iapetus. Because F. Iapetus. I heard from our favorite commenter on the series, I forgot, Colorful Apologies on the name. But they mentioned that there's a blurring effect on the Iapetus's face to make sure that no one is actually sympathetic with that human. And I love that. I love that. The fact that it focuses on these three individuals and that they are absolutely individual and from their own sides without having this interference from this guy is fantastic. I love that because you don't have that just drawing feeling of feeling for a Iapetus. You have your own conclusions, your own feelings about space, and it's so good. Okay. Pluto. All missions on Kronos orbit completed. Maiden flight and testing of Chron McCullough is done. Report received. Awaiting new directives. I'm heading back to Ares, of course. It's the helm of Cradle's Graces, after all. We have to finish up the last touches on Chron McCullough and prepare for the last battle on Earth's moon. Celestial mechanics will regroup and refuel there, and maybe we can nip them in the bud. The Memorial Foundation has been fighting us there since the conflict began. Maybe this time we can push them back. Send a message to everyone. Time to come home. So we can be ready for the journey. Ready for launch. Okay, 25% Cradle's Graces, 0% the others. Pilot interfacing. Direct message Mars. Okay, well, so the very first thing you need to know about pilot interfacing is that it's the most important part of piloting. If you can't interface with anything, then yeah, you can't pilot shit without an interface. You don't really have to know any of this stuff, but you asked. I'll give you the basic rundown. There are actually a few ways it's useful to know, but if it's basically just to explain why no one can do anything to stop you because of the completely unfair bullshit you have, any given ship self may have a variety of prescribed functions, That's called the machine's intent. It's not that the machine has consciousness, even if it seems like it does. It's just projection and inaccurate metaphor. Even if you're using a made-to-order ship for you alone, or customizing it for that purpose, you still have to bring your intentions in line with the crafts. That's what interfacing really means. That's why interfacing is the most important part of piloting, and why basically the only thing the R&D crews do is find better ways to reduce the lag. Fascinating. So basically connecting it with intent. White Void. Tidal Mechanics Research Archives. Dr. Nix. The fearful power of it is evidence. So much so that I hesitate to even criticize it. It is the nature of the tyrant theory that it is fed by all things, including attempts to dismantle it. It can simply assimilate those theories and absolve itself of potential guilt and rhetorical weakness by assuming new forms, because there is no inherent premise that it is not fungible by the impulse to make all else part of it. Okay. Far from expanding to incorporate diverse and contradictory ideas into itself, the theory would remove alternate quantum states until finding a solution that would incorporate perfectly in line with the unified culture theory. This is a necessary and inherent step, because in order to prevent any given feature of such a theoretical culture to be a subject to a diversion, the gravitational pull of the culture must be so great that no information about it can escape. As the theory accumulates culture through cultural mass energy conversion, its gravity would steadily begin to grow, and its energy decrease until it began to continuously collapse. Really? Into a single coordinate, and no distinguishable information would be able to escape. A black hole. It would turn into a black hole. The interplay of variant states is necessary for culture to create and change, and this unified field culture would be able to do so. It would only be able to assimilate and devour, like a black hole. Such a theory would not redefine hierarchy, but enshrine it forever. Far from a compassionate future for humanity, it would necessitate the complete removal of human variance. All humanity and all existence would revolve around the singularity of the unified field culture, the tyrant theory, a white void, and the singular conqueror, thought at the center of the universe. So what you're telling me is the Chromacola is so powerful that it literally can draw everything into itself as a black void. And by that stance from the piloting interface message before, Pluto has that power. Pluto is the center to create entire universes off of. That's what you're telling me. Are you scared? Yeah. You? Yeah. But I'm excited too. Looking forward to what we could be. Hey, Pluto. How can you be sure? Sure about what? Sure about anything? Everything is so frustrating, pointless, and doomed. No matter how hard I fight, it stays that way. So, how can you be sure it's not going to be the way someday? You're the person I want to ask that. Because you fight every day like you are not thinking about those things. What's that supposed to mean? I've got to fight. That's what we have to do. Of course I still think about those things, even when I'm fighting. Sorry, Mars. Of course you do. Everyone has doubts like that. Even me, then? Right? But it doesn't feel like you do. I mean, you make it seem like everything's going to be alright. But you just do what you have to without even worrying about it. Without even worrying about whether it's right or not. Or if it will come to anything or not. You're a genius, you know. You're smarter than me. That's not true. I just have to stop thinking if I want to just do whatever it is that needs doing. I put myself on pause, don't you? Maybe. That's why I'm still so scared. Fascinating. Okay. So we got two new things. The Ocean, which is where we play around with celestial mechanics. Or Rift in the Earth, where we fight Luna-Terra here. I think we're going to pause and stop this here. And I have to say, it's because my voice is giving out. I try to do voices. I don't know if it's always as successful as I like to think that is. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for everything. I love you all. And I'll see you next time. Bye.